In the immortal words of Margaret Booth, murder has always sold well. And don't we know it? It is the 100th episode of American Horror Story. And we're talking about it right now, so stay tuned or we'll get you.
I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Whoop, whoop. Hello, everybody! True party tonight because we are celebrating the 100th episode of
American Horror Story.
I can't believe it.
That's insane.
Our huge in-studio audience, you can hear it losing their
And the crowd goes wild.
Thousands of people in this one room. Welcome everybody to the American Horror Story After Show. I'm your host, Alana Jordan. We are talking about episode 100, which is actually season 9, episode 6. Doesn't quite sound as cool. But one thing that is very cool is that I have a whole panel of some of my favorite people here to talk about the 100th episode, the man of our dreams, Ollie Dreamer.
Hi, guys. Check out Ollie's new hair.
I love fabulous new hair.
I keep forgetting that it's different. Everyone's like looking at me weird. I'm like, is something on my face?
Unicorn hair. It's just
love
beautiful.
it.
I just love how we put Ollie on the spot every time. Like every time, it's always Ollie. Center of attention.
There's more relevant people.
We're basically like, look, Ollie's look is always killing. It is always slaying.
I mean-
if you like the murder, he kills the looks. Watch us on YouTube.
No, not as good as Margaret though. So
Oh,
Margaret had the looks.
man. Margaret
Just
did
saying.
have the looks. Has the looks. But two other ladies who always have the looks.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, Kayla Rene'e.
Yes, how you guys look? Hair out for the 100th
Fantastic. I'm like,
Makeup
with the
day?
makeup,
Yes,
like,
you guys, I was
perfect
excited. I think I'm like
matching
way too excited for this to be the 100th episode. But I feel like it's a huge occasion. I feel like
It
you
is
know.
because you've also done this after show for
Yes.
seasons. So it's
I know, to finally reach the 100th is like, I feel like this is historical. This is the moment for us. This is the moment. Oh.
magic. Yeah! And of course, always keeping us happy, the Happy Cappy herself,
Happy Cappy.
Alexa Cappy. Hello.
That's what I'm going to be known as for the rest of my life.
Happy
The-
Cappy.
The Happy Cappy. But hi, I can't believe that I'm here for the 100th episode of American Horror Story. I remember when it first came out, and it's still going and going strong.
And
So-
now you're our literal happy camper.
Yeah, I am.
Oh.
Aww,
you guys.
And we're all at summer camp together.
I never was able to go to summer camp, sleepaway camp. My mama didn't let me go.
Did you go to 6th grade camp?
No.
Oh, see,
See?
I love 6th grade camp. 6th grade camp was a moment for me, but
As soon as I turned 5, my mom was like, "You're old enough. Enjoy.
Goodbye.
Go out, get a bow and arrow, little child. Enjoy."
yeah, I was in
shooting
Girl
things
Scouts
off the
too, so I like always went camping. So I'm like, but anyway, like let's get into this.
I feel like anybody who has ever been camping also has had that moment where we have this kind of American Horror Story, like, is there a murderer in the woods? Which is why I love that this is the 100th episode, because this was an action-packed episode,
It was,
too.
definitely.
And we'll also be breaking down the whole episode, as well as giving you guys our predictions for what's going to come up next. We got a little bit of our special segment, breaking down some of the 80s references. And also, we got to talk about that 80s fashion.
Ooh,
Time,
yeah.
too.
That was, Margaret had some awesome outfits, I gotta say.
know, right? On point. Sharper than this knife that we got here. And, of course, we also will be giving a little bit of news, too. So be sure to stick around for all of it.
Absolutely.
But before we dive into the episode, overall thoughts of the episode as a whole. What did you think of this being the 100th episode?
You know what? To be honest, let me start because
is this a good thing or a bad thing?
it's like we always start with Alexa, but you know what? No, I had to intervene because for the 100th episode, to be honest, you guys, I'm not gonna lie, I was like slightly disappointed. Just slightly. I kind of felt like it was gonna be like, oh, it's gonna be a banger. We were all excited, but it was just like, I mean, it was. I still feel like it's a bunch of loose ends. So I'm just like, okay, we kind of need to wrap this up.
Girl, I'm with you. I'm with you. I was expecting some sort of. We were all kind of expecting them to bring together all the other seasons in this episode somehow.
Right.
I mean, that would have been quite the endeavor, so to speak. But I think we were expecting something big for the 100th episode, and this one, although it was good, it just felt like it was a lot of exposition and not a lot of action. And poor Brooke and poor Jingles is all I have to say.
Yeah.
Hashtag poor Jingles.
Well, can we make that a hashtag? Hashtag poor Jingles.
Hashtag poor Jingles, you guys.
Heard it here
In
first.
the chat.
Also a new band name.
I think that I was expecting at least some kind of like cameo of someone or something special to kind of go back into.
We got Leslie Jordan.
Which is great. Shout out to Leslie Jordan. Love you on Will and Grace, obviously. Beverly.
And I love
Such
him
a
as
great
Cricket
character.
and Roanoke too.
Oh, yes.
It was like my favorite character.
Which was
Cricket.
cool. It's nice that they brought Leslie back. But I think it almost read as kind of like a sequel, like an 80s sequel movie.
Yeah.
Like this second half seems like a sequel. And sometimes sequels aren't that great. But I'm hoping,
Most of the time. Most of the time.
I actually just
Arrows fired.
I actually liked this episode though. I was like, at the end, I was like, yeah! So I'm excited to
Well,
talk
that's
about
because
it.
you are just a huge Rita fan. You
Yeah.
love Rita. Whatever
But
Rita does,
It
you're
was
like,
exciting.
Rita
Something
Donna.
about it was just very exciting. And like, oh yeah, they're going to go back to Redwood and just kill each other. And I don't know. At least I'm
Hunger Games.
hopeful. I'm hopeful as to the second half of the season will. It reminded me a lot of Roanoke too, how they kind of shifted.
I hope not.
A little bit because it did the time jump, and I wasn't expecting there to be a
Okay,
time jump because this is 1984, not 1985 or 1989. But I'm hopeful. I'm just gonna be hopeful.
I mean,
I'm
we still have
optimistic.
at least a few episodes left.
Right.
I mean, we're still kind of up in the air if this is going to be 9 or 10 episodes. I think our panel is leaning towards. We think it's going to be probably closer to 10.
Yeah.
But
Let's hope.
regardless, we're just right at that halfway mark right now. So we still got some things to go. And I feel like they don't have too many loose ends to where they can't wrap them up. Like, I don't feel like this is another situation where, like where we are like, why did you introduce these aliens? And then now there's no more aliens. And like
Give us our aliens, gosh
I know,
darn it.
right? We're just like, go back, like X-Files this bad boy up, Murphy. We're here for it, Ryan. Jeez. But somebody we are definitely here for this episode, freaking Margaret.
Margaret is
She's living it
living the
up.
life of the rich and famous.
Yes, literally. Robin Leach is like a life. I was like, okay, the Robin Leach got me. I was like, snaps to them for the actual.
That was such a
lifestyles
warm
of the
moment
rich
because
and
it's like I
famous.
remember that actually coming on. So it's like it was such like it was like a weird
No,
moment.
we don't. We're young and spry.
You're right. I'm too young for that.
We don't know any of these references. What's tab? Anyway, this episode, what did you guys think of this? Of having Margaret with kind of the big twist of Trevor not being dead and being her lover, and them creating this... Her lover. Creating this macabre story.
Definitely a
Yeah, well,
lie.
this business, too, that's all based off of let's cash in on the macabre.
Yeah. It was so funny because one, it was like we jumped automatically to like Margaret already being like living in Calabasas, like all rich and famous. And it's like, wait, she was just at camp yesterday.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Fast.
it was like definitely fast. But I was like, I'm glad that they went back and told kind of how Trevor like woke up and like kind of what happened to him after that, because I was definitely like, how the hell did Trevor end up like with Margaret? You know what I mean? After that. So to kind of give that backstory a little bit, I liked it. But I'm kind of seeing, I feel like Trevor has something up his sleeve.
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna be one of those like et tu brute moments where he like comes in behind and like stabs her from behind or something, metaphorically or physically. I'm not sure, but I think Trevor's gonna be the one that takes her down. I hope so.
No, Jingles has to take her down.
I want Trevor to do
No,
it.
I feel like I at this point
his
just want
giant-
everybody like Ramirez style just gather around, and it's like everyone gets a stab. We're all real pissed
Probably
at
like
Margaret.
it might be a little killing grounds
It
for
It is
Margaret.
basically everybody versus Margaret at this
She's
point.
like the freaking worst,
It
but
is.
she's also kind of awesome. I guess.
She's like a con artist. Like
Yeah.
I
Yeah. Well, what did you think about this too? Because I feel like, Ryan Murphy always throws in, and especially for the 100th episode, he's going to be a little bit more overt with these kind of references to where he's making commentary on the commentary about him. That is always present every season.
Yeah.
But this one where he's saying, where he has her point blank say, murder has always sold well. What we're going to do is we're going to buy up all of these things. Like, we're going to get, like, the Lizzie Borden mansion. We're going to get, like, Ed Gein, and we're going to make lampshades that look like people. Like, people think that, you know, in Wisconsin, they're like, hey, this is offensive to us because we actually knew these people, and these are real, actual people, and versus the concept of the macabre as a general idea and kind of the true crime integration that we see this season with Richard Ramirez. What did you think of this kind of super meta reference that we have with Margaret being the one who has, at this point, as Trevor said, lost God, lost her compass, and is now focused on the profiteering of real, true horror?
Margaret is so fascinated by death. It's kind of creepy though, but I just feel like I just want to know what her motive is behind having all of these like killer attractions. You know what I mean? I just want to know like what's gonna come of this.
Hurt people. No. Well, first off, I didn't think anything could get bigger than Margaret's head, but I was wrong. Her hair is giant.
Oh, her hair.
The
is
beehive.
I don't know, though. The sleeves are almost bigger.
Right? The shoulder pads?
Yes.
No, I think that she just kind of represents those crazy, corrupt, rich white people that kind of take, you know, they manipulate situations in certain, you know, past notorious historic places in order to benefit themselves and to kind of get money off of them. And so it just reads to me as someone who's just trying to cover up everything. That's what she's done. That's what she does. That's what she did at Jingles. That's how she survived Redwood. So it just makes sense that she's on this path continuing and I just want her to be taken down. Gosh darn it. But yeah, she's crazy. And I was wrong that Trevor was dead. Y'all.
I knew he was going to survive that, though. He was shot like 3 times.
Right?
Like,
so I was really shocked to see him. But yeah, I'm really interested in seeing how this relationship's going to work out with them too, because they hate each other.
You were right though, Elena, about profiteering on death and like murder and how our society is like so obsessed with it. It's kind of like how I felt when they came out with that Ted Bundy movie with Zac Efron.
Oh my goodness.
Extremely evil, wicked, shockingly evil and vile. I was just like, why are we glamorizing?
He's so hot.
Yeah, he's
right?
so hot. Blah,
like,
blah, blah. But I mean, it does happen, and we even see it in the episode where Richard Ramirez has a girlfriend that I'm sure has been writing to him like in real life, where it happened, where these girls were just throwing themselves at these Ramirez and many other serial killers, where they just become obsessed with them. And our society is obsessed with studying serial killers and murder and death, and yes, I think it's a commentary on that. But also, I kind of thought how like the fact that they're letting Margaret do this over and over and over again, like buying Spawn Ranch and all these other places and making them kind of like entertainment places. I'm just like,
what's better than Spawn Ranch? Spawn Ranch with a Ferris wheel.
I know, it's like they're like little amusement parks.
But I can't believe that it was unbelievable to me. I didn't think, I was like, are they really letting her do this? I mean, I don't care if she has that much money. Are they really gonna let her do that?
I mean, I feel like that's why he makes things that are so absurd, they're satirical, tend to be when he's making his commentary about himself, and about the show as a whole. So I feel like that's kind of what it is. I don't want to get too into prediction-y territory, but I have to ask you guys, were you a little disappointed that they didn't integrate Murder House into this? I felt like that was kind of the perfect opportunity when they were listing all these properties. And I don't know if maybe they will later, but it seemed like, wouldn't that be the perfect way to tie in for episode 100?
Yeah, we needed to
bring it back to the first episode.
That would have actually been a nice tie-in. I'm surprised they didn't.
Sad. I was like, that would have made it a full circle for the full 100, but
I'm like, I was a little disappointed, but at the same time, I'm still kind of on the fence because I feel like, Ryan's never going to let us down. So it's just like, I just feel like something's going to happen, but who knows? We'll see.
You have to be careful when you say you're on the fence with this show because you might literally be on the fence.
I know. Hung up on the fence.
Might be a cricket style.
By my back and my spine.
Now, this we also see kind of the big culmination of, okay, there's a murder. Courtney's saying we need to probably sell now while we're at peak. And she's saying, look, murder never peaks out. We're always going to have some money in our pocket as long as people are a little messed up. And I think The fact that, you're listening to the show and you're watching the show and we're
Yeah,
all
if
here.
you're watching the
let you
show.
know.
Absolutely.
They're right. But they decide to kind of take this horrible situation where there is a murder at Camp Redwood that has now been reignited years later, half a decade later, and to just kind of, instead of saying, oh no, we might be liable for all of this and be sued, let's throw a music festival. Let's call up Billy Idol and let's have a bash conference. Yeah, what did you guys think about? And I mean, I loved that this was kind of the impetus that triggered all of the other storylines in this, and we'll go through and kind of talk about the storylines too. But what did you think about this structure of this being how they bring everybody back?
I think Margaret's smart, and she did it purposefully. I think she wants to bring Ramirez and Jingles, primarily Jingles, back to the scene where she could have a face-off with him and kill him once and for all.
I thought the same thing. I was like, this is definitely true Margaret fashion, but I was like,
smart.
There's something behind this. Yeah, I'm like, there's definitely something behind it. But I love all of it because it's like, you're all going to bring all the people that hate you to one area
place.
to find you.
She thinks she's invincible. I honestly believe that she did survive two mass killings.
Yeah.
So
it's easy to do when you're the one holding the knife.
What a great Margaret impression.
I know, right? Thank you.
It was funny how she was like, so you do know, Trevor, what time did the police show up?
Yes, I did love that when she's like, oh, okay, you remember. All right, how long do I got? Let's cut the crap. But talking about somebody else who thinks that they're invincible, because at this point they really are, Montana, our girl.
And Xavier.
Yes.
Don't forget him.
Back at the camp. Montana is out here killing poor Dustin while Xavier's cheering on, and Ray is like, stop making me clean up for you guys. I was cleaning up at the friggin' hospital when I was alive, and now I'm cleaning up bodies when I'm dead. I don't want to keep doing this.
I love how she made a fanny pack sexy. She's like, want to stick it in me? And she's like, me first. And like with a fanny pack. It was so weird.
That was a perfect Montana.
I know.
So there you go.
I know.
It was like the Gene reference. She's like, you want to unzip it? Can I unzip it?
And let me just say, fanny packs are always sexy.
Yeah,
I love my fanny pack. Like, I have like
back now.
4. Like, so I'm like,
People
I love
who
my
hate
fanny
on the
packs.
fanny pack, I'm like, shut up.
I
They're
like how
perfect.
people wear them this way now. Like, who
like the side?
Who decided that? Like, I want to know who that person
I
is.
thought it was a man of
completely
some sort.
disagree. Those are the men trying to be masculine.
Yeah, I was like, that was a man of some
I gotta
sort.
put this on, like, show my
It
chest.
doesn't
I'm
bother
sorry.
me.
Listen.
It
As
doesn't
an
bother
avid
me.
fanny pack wearer myself, I wear it around the waist.
Thank
Around
you.
the waist.
That's how
Thank
you're
you.
supposed
Shout
to
out
wear
to our
the fanny
producer,
pack.
Josh. He wears it
Yeah,
around the waist.
Josh in the booth,
It's
currently
not-
wearing
yeah.
his fanny pack. He has his fanny pack on right now.
Actually, I
Supporting
had
us.
one on earlier, but I don't have it
Ooh.
anymore.
They're so
super handy.
convenient. I know. I'm like, they're so
I
convenient.
love it. The only problem is I have a lot of British friends. They're like, stop calling it that. It's a bum bag. Every time you call it a fanny
my
pack,
God.
it's
Fanny
gross.
pack.
A bum bag sounds worse.
Bum bag. I know. It's like, that sounds way worse. And since everyone's wearing it like this, I'm like, I'm going to call it a tit sack and just be like, what? What up? Don't tell me what to do. Which is what Montana was screaming at everybody when they were saying, stop being all murdery. What do you guys think of this situation? Because Ray points out we don't know the rules. We don't know why we're here. Why do you think that they're trapped? And also with the old timers who were killed, Jonas and his buddies who we hadn't seen up until this point.
I was confused as to why, like, we didn't see the campers earlier. We're just now, years later, we're seeing the campers now.
Yeah.
Why didn't we see the campers? We saw the hitchhiker and everything. I forget, Jonah? Jonah was his
Jonas.
name? Jonas. But where were the campers this whole time?
Where was Jonas
Why
this
weren't
whole
they?
time?
Why weren't they interacting with Margaret? You know, you think they would attack her or something
Absolutely.
for killing her in the shed,
Well, that one guy even says where he's like, I haven't wanted to even touch a person since 1972.
Right.
So it's like the whole thing, like they died and they're like, we don't want anything to do with the living. But somehow there's a rift now where they're like, with Montana and Xavier, that they're like, not only do we want to hang out with the living, we want to touch their fanny packs and stab them.
And
For
like,
some reason,
go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, for some reason, I don't know. I'm kind of getting like maybe it's something like within their spirit, or it's like maybe if you've killed somebody, but then that wouldn't explain the other counselors, like the counselors.
Yeah.
So
They're
I'm
like
just I
all
don't
there.
know.
I was expecting Chet to maybe not be there because he's a good
We
guy.
still didn't know if Chet was dead, and now we officially know
No,
Chet
he's
is
in purgatory.
dead.
He drowned.
I was so bummed bummed out when
I know.
that
Oh, it was a
reveal. I was
bummer.
like, come on. That was like, I feel like they could have done something.
I thought Chet was gonna still be alive, and if they were gonna reveal that he was dead, I thought it would be better than him just being like in the woods, like, oh, Margaret sucks.
Yeah, so like
Imagine
all
being
there.
all of your cells. What do you say? All of your cells being like cut off of oxygen or something like that.
I mean, he
Like-
drowned, so he's like, imagine
so.
breathing water, and that's a terrible
poor
way.
Chet.
It's a horrible way to die.
Definitely
but like,
one of my fears.
legit, they're all there. There's no, difference. Like, they're all there. It doesn't matter if you're a good person, bad person. It just seems like if you died at the camp, you're gonna stay at the camp.
Yeah.
It is
Maybe if you
like
told
hell.
a lie. Maybe everybody's lying.
Maybe. It is interesting that Montana and what's his face? Xavier, they have like no morals at this point because they don't have anything to lose. Whereas Ray, he still kind of is holding on to those morals. So it's really interesting how they're dealing with purgatory.
I feel like
Xavier too. Oh, sorry.
No, I was gonna say I feel like Ray is like almost like remorseful now. It's almost seeming like he's like trying to do anything to get out and kind of like be like turned back into like a humanized or whatever, because I feel like he wants to right his wrongs, but it's like something's they're preventing him from pretty much like being great. So I don't know. I'm like, I don't know where this is gonna go.
I do feel like Xavier did have a bit of a point, though, when he was like, look, being good just got me dead.
Agreed.
I tried to save Birdie, and it was awful.
Tried to save
and then
Margaret.
I did save Margaret, and she stabbed me. So I'm at the point where I'm going to make out with my hot, dead girlfriend, and if she feels like she wants to be stabby, then you can clean it up or not, Ray. We're dead. We do what we want.
I know.
Way to sum it up, Elena. That was perfect.
Are we gonna find that like Big Daddy Porn Daddy there too? Is he like?
Right.
Oh, I definitely
hope
forgot
not.
about
How
Daddy.
gross would that be, where he's just perving on all these kids forever, and they're like, God, it was bad enough.
He's
Like,
still spying on them in the showers. Like, that's,
killing the gross people. They're always here.
Do ghosts take showers? Do they?
I mean,
I completely forgot about that, dude.
like, you know what? The ghost took a shower in Halloween Town.
Where's Birdie? Why isn't Birdie? Where's her spirit?
Birdie?
She died on the camp.
It
Look,
flew
Birdie.
away.
Wait, who was
Flew
Birdie?
away like
Oh
a
yeah,
birdie.
Birdie.
The chef.
Birdie the lunch
I'm
lady.
like a birdie. I will fly away. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. I think maybe Birdie is just going to pop up and be like, I've just been hanging out in the lunchroom.
She's still making sandwiches.
want some PB&J? I make them real good.
Where's the real Rita, for that matter? The real Rita. She got killed.
And so many people have just disappeared into
I
this.
don't know.
Into
Well,
the
they're
abyss.
like, we only have so much time. We can't show everybody. They're all at the thing. They're going to be at the concert. Don't worry about it. They all like Billy Idol. But speaking of which, we do have this concert that then sets everything in motion. The episode opens with Jingles and Ramirez and kind of where they've been the past year since last episode left off with them just like, we don't need seatbelts. Satan's our buddy. And he's like, seatbelts. So, perfect recap, by the way. You're welcome if you didn't see last week. That was it. But we see them and how Jingles is not feeling this whole vibe of where Ramirez has been killing people for the past year. So he's the one who turns Ramirez in. And this is a whole reference to how Ramirez actually was turned in.
Yep, that was so cool.
I thought that too. I was like, yeah, that's literally how he was
but
turning
then
on.
they're like,
spotted
but
him.
really, it was because of this
Jingles.
one white guy drinking a tab. I kind of was like, I don't know how I feel about that, but... What did you guys think about this scene and about how the two diverged and Ramirez goes to jail and Jingles tries to live a normal, happy life? Did you think that it was ever possible, or from the beginning were you like, oh no, something bad's gonna happen to Jingles?
I was here for it. I'm like, I was here for the whole thing, to be honest, but I'm kind of glad that they kind of foreshadowed or like showed where they are like now, because we were all kind of like wondering like where the hell they drive off into the sunset, like what are they doing? But I don't know, I feel like one of us said that they were probably like, since they turned their lives over to like Satan, that gave them a new life now. So it's like, okay, now they're living, you know what I mean, they're back into the city doing their thing. But I'm like, yeah, I was here for Jingles turning him in. I'm just like, I was here for Jingles the whole episode, so I'm like, I loved how everything panned out. But oh, poor Jingles and his family.
Hashtag poor Jingles.
Well, now I'm confused a little bit. I just realized because last episode, I know, kind of jumping ahead a little bit.
Oh no, go ahead.
Did Jingles die last episode?
He did.
Okay.
Yes. He
All
died,
right.
and
Was
then
brought back.
Ramirez brought him back, and he said
gave him a
basically,
choice.
now that Satan has brought you back,
Okay.
you got to do whatever he says. And he says, hang out with me while I kill people, and you can be my Ray and clean up all my
Jingles
messes.
is like, no, I'm out of here.
Yeah. Jingles was like,
He sold his soul. I feel like just selling your soul to the devil will come back eventually to bite you. Despite him doing something good, he still, at the end of the day, is alive because of accepting Satan.
Absolutely.
What did you think about this, about Lorraine basically getting fridged, where they're like, here, Lorraine, your wife, like, she was a prostitute, but now she's better off, and you guys have a baby, and his name is Bobby, and you're all happy.
Aww.
And nothing happens to him except for they kill his wife. I don't know how I feel. I'm like...
I felt sad, but I'm like, while we were watching it, I kind of was like, I felt like something was going to happen. It was just like, it was too cookie cutter, like, oh, Jingles, happy family, happy life, he's working at Blockbuster, assistant manager. But it's like, no, something's going to happen. And
oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. I just realized this whole kind of like metaphor or symbolism with the tapes, the rewinding of his character of kind of becoming
rewinding his life.
Yeah.
Rewind.
He was working at the what is it called? The Video Shack or something?
Video
Not
Shack.
the Blockbuster.
Basically,
I just wrote down Blockbuster because I was like, that's the only thing I could think of.
I was like,
Video
wow.
Shack, the discount
He's
Blockbuster.
been wanting to rewind all these tapes, but now he has to rewind and go back into Redwood.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, it's just basically, we saw him be happy with his wife and, has a child now and is trying to start a new life. But I feel like he's been running away from his old life and the things that he needs to do, which is stop Margaret once and for all. And so until that happens, he's just going to continue to be haunted.
What did you think about his reaction to seeing Margaret on the TV and Lorraine being like, look, you said you never want to see this, and him saying, I can accept it now. I'm now free. Did that feel in that moment like that was what you were expecting from him, or did
I kind
you
of fell
feel...
for it. I was like, oh, maybe he's changed. He turned over a new leaf. I was like, wow, he can cope with this now. I was kind of proud of him. I was rooting for Jingles this whole episode.
Me too.
I know. It's like
I
nothing.
did think that it was kind of cool though that they played the song that I always call it the charm song.
Right?
Yeah.
I was thinking, I was like ready for it. I was ready to see like freaking Alyssa Milano and like
Super
Rose
into
McDowell.
it. The only thing is too, that song for years and years and years, because in the early 90s, like especially, they would always play that song with anything creepy because it sounded like it was all elemental, like the sun, like SUN, and air, like AIR. It's I am the sun, like I am your son, not your daughter, but your son. I am the heir, like the heir to the throne.
HEIR.
This is just about some guy who's been his dad for years. I was like, ooh, it's all spooky and elemental. It's not. But for this one, it actually does work out. We've kind of seen this parallel before, though, of this kid, the child of a murderer, being left behind, where we had with Bloody Face. Do you think that they're going to tie that? Because I also thought that was the way they could have tied this in with like a Lana Winters thing.
I kind of wondered. I was like, maybe Bobby, or that was his name, right? Bobby.
Little baby Bobby.
Yeah, little baby Bobby. I was like, maybe he could be some character that's going to derive from like another past season. But I was like, who the hell's name was Bobby in any of the seasons? You know what I mean?
Who's Lizzie and who's Bobby? I was like,
so I was like, but maybe, I don't know, maybe Auntie Lizzie may change his name though. So I don't, like, you never know. But who knows? We'll see.
Maybe
we'll see.
So she doesn't. So the child doesn't have to grow up with the
thinking,
father. The his mother being murdered or something. So that's that's a good point that you bring up. I was hoping that there would be more tie-ins, though, at least in this episode.
I did too. I thought that there was going to be more tie-ins. And I mean,
or maybe we just aren't picking them up. I don't know if the chat's picking them up. Anything?
Yeah, chat. Let us know.
Let us know in the
know,
comments later on. Just let us know because we're just.
Tell us
lots
all
to take in.
thing.
Lots to take in.
And our other murderer, Mr. Ramirez, has been locked up in the prison here and is now trying to seduce Brooke over to
the dark side.
The path of dark, the dark side. We have cookies. It's cake. But what did you think of this, too, of them meeting up again and this whole thing of, Brooke is going to be given the lethal injection, she's going to die, Ray seeing that on the newspaper, all of this tying into this moment where then Ramirez is like, all right, okay, baby girl, you got 2 chances.
Baby girl.
Devil says 1 shot. Actually, Devil says 2 shots. Flip me off again. I would give you a 3rd shot. Okay, she's gone. What did you think of this whole scenario? And then, like, with his groupie that we talked about a little bit and how they had kind of the reference to the serial killers. Red. And the Billy Idol being brought in. This whole conversation, though, with Red, I thought was really interesting, too, where he was talking about how, as a killer, he wanted to grow and evolve because he didn't want to become trivia. He didn't want to become pop
80s,
culture
right.
trivia. Yeah, which is kind of ironic because he is pop
is.
culture trivia, and it's almost like Ryan Murphy being like the ultimate F you to this murderer, is that we're not glorifying him. He's this kitsch character. What did you guys feel about this? Did you feel that this was supposed to be like a kind of a meta thing that was intentional, or?
Yeah, because I think one of the reasons why serial killers kill is for the fame. And to take that away from them is taking their power away from them. So I think that Ramirez talking about this hopefully is making people understand and realize that the more attention that we give these people, the more they feel like they're empowered by what they do, and so therefore we should stop doing that entirely. Go ahead.
Oh no, finish. Go ahead.
No, I loved it. I loved how the line was pop culture trivia. I don't want to fade with the era, the 80s era, and true artists evolve over many decades. Picasso is immortal. I don't want people to forget about me.
I definitely just with her quoting with exactly what he said. I definitely think it was intentional because it was almost like if you didn't know about Richard Ramirez now or like then, you know about him now, and it's like you're gonna want to Google him, you know what I mean? And it's like I feel like he did that because he is like talked about now, and it's like, did he kill up to like 94?
It was a lot.
It was a lot of killing.
Yeah, I was like, he was kind of like, he had a long reign, to be honest. And
they
I'm
weren't
like,
even sure how many.
Yeah, and I'm like, that's just, this like makes my skin crawl thinking about stuff like that. But it's like, no, that's creepy. But I definitely think it was intentional.
It kind of seems like it because he is so identified. I mean, he's literally the villain in
like LA Night Stalker, yeah.
Like it's like you are the most 80s even when we get up to 89. Which did you notice too? They would go up to 89 but not 90. Like so it's still all in the 80s.
Still
I love the fact that he ties it in with music too. Even like some of the people that Billy's headlining over. Yeah. How it was so common in the 80s for there to be so many one-hit wonders, whereas like he's trying to be the serial killer that's not like he's trying to be a serial killer. Not
he doesn't want to be a one-hit wonder.
Right, exactly. So I love that little dialogue that he had during that exchange. It was funny.
And I
love
too
funny, but it was comical.
And he'll talk in Billy Idol quotes, which I love too. Which is like, all right, buddy. I mean,
I wonder if he really did love Billy Idol as much as they're portraying.
If Billy Idol was his idol.
I wonder if we're gonna see Billy Idol. Like, you know, I was just gonna play Billy Idol, even if it's just like a quick second.
They got an amazing guy to play Richard, though. I thought he looks exactly like him.
He looks exactly like that guy, and it's creepy.
Zach Villa. Yeah. Props to you. You're crushing it. And ironically enough, he just released an album too. So this whole episode is like music, Billy Idol, and he's like, I'm a musician
also,
for real, but I'm not.
I'm also a musician.
He's like, but I'm not trying to shit on REO Speedwagon. Like everyone's cool. What did you think about the music, the song Paranoid over and over too? I was like,
it's great.
This is very on the nose.
Yeah,
like,
it is.
Okay,
but it was cool. It was cool how they had the two different songs. So they had Paranoid, and then they had what was a Baby? I can't fight this feeling anymore. Who sings that one?
REO Speedwagon.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, and that was Jingles' theme. I love what they've been doing with the music this whole season.
It's got the keys to the
They're
Speedwagon,
perfect.
baby.
Yeah, I'm like, it's perfect songs to fit every situation, every occasion. It's like everybody, because like the song Paranoid, everybody was paranoid in this episode. Well, so it was like, it was kind of crazy.
The score is so good on this too, with all the like 80s riffs.
I really would have liked to have seen Ramirez getting paranoid though. Like it just sort of happened. Like, you know, he like was running away from people. I would like to have seen him like
nervous, right?
People might know who I am. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Whereas this one, we see him kind of more empowered throughout because we even see at the end where he uses his satanic magic to burn this Billy Idol poster, the flyer. Because Satan clearly is like, I need to focus my attention on this Billy Idol concert. This is 100% of my
This is my time.
Yay! Take the bees with saws for hands. I'll get to them in a minute. Billy Idol has a show. I'm Satan. I'm focused. But having this juxtaposed with Brooke after he has this whole story with Brooke about the 3 different things that you get in the lethal injection. It's not just one, but there are 3 different plungers. The first, your I keep wanting to say antiseptic, but it's
I'm sorry, what is it like? Is it anesthesia? I'm like, no, I'm not thinking anesthesia. Oh my god.
It's like an whatever. It's like anesthesia kind of.
Yeah.
But then
We get it.
Yeah. But then they move into the second one, which is basically where you just are paralyzed. It freezes you so that you don't thrash around while you're having your potassium chloride burning.
I was about to say burning through your veins.
What did you guys think about this and the way that they had this juxtaposed with the score, with the guard being possessed and the 3 plungers? Did you think that it was going to get to the third plunger? Because I kind of felt like it wasn't.
Yeah, I thought
because the slow motion.
Yeah, that too, and then even just the fact that it was like, you know, like Satan was coming up through the, you know, the sewer or whatever through the guard, and I was like, okay, so he's gonna go to the guard, and the guard's gonna come save Brooke from like something's gonna happen, and it's like they're not gonna do the injection into Brooke. But I was like, to see it actually go through, I was like, okay, but I don't know. I'm like, that whole thing is...
Yeah. I was thinking that Brooke was going to get, like, possessed or something. Mm-hmm. But I'm thinking how the episode... Jumping ahead, I'm sorry.
No.
I think how the episode ended, we know fake Rita, Donna, was the one that saved Brooke. I'm thinking...
By the way, how?
How the hell did she show up there? Yeah, we're definitely like, where the hell?
Rita was one of the people there the entire time, or someone. I think they injected her...
She wearing a mask?
I don't think Brooke ever died. I think they injected her with like some kind of placebo or something.
I think it is, there's also the thing that can temporarily stop your heart, and then you get...
Yeah, so it wasn't
like
the lethal injection.
Mm-hmm, it wasn't,
the entire time.
It wasn't potassium chloride. It was something else, because they talk about how it basically freezes, like your blood is still pumping and everything, but like they call it when your heart stops. I think that's what it is it's going to be the chemical that stops your heart and then it's restarted.
To be honest, now that I'm thinking about it, did we see the face of the person doing the injection?
I don't think so.
Because I'm like, that whole time it could have just been Rita.
I think it was Rita.
You know what I mean?
Okay,
so and then like her rolling her to the back. Okay, I was like, yeah, it had to be her. Because I was like, we never seen the face of that person doing it.
Did she infiltrate the prison? Like, where?
It's Rita. She can do anything. She's a ninja. She is a
Rita's
ninja.
a therapist and
knows everything.
She's a nurse. Not really. She can make bear traps and these crazy...
I still don't understand her character entirely, but it's fine.
Dee Dee.
Keep going.
AKA Dee Dee.
I was also definitely wrong about Brooke being impregnated by the Ray demon baby. That just never
We were
happened.
all going for it. We were all like, oh, they're going to have little demon babies.
They're like, joke's on you. There is a baby, but his name is Bobby, and he's the son of a prostitute in Alaska. Not what you were thinking at all. I was like, all right, Ryan, you got me. I was not thinking that at all. But yeah, I'm just at this point, I'm so torn as to what's going to happen with these guys, especially with basically everyone agreeing that they want to murder Margaret. Like, Chet wants to murder Margaret.
Right.
Jingles wants to murder Margaret. Ramirez is just kind of like, whatever, I just want to go see Billy Idol, and it's like, I want to murder Margaret because this lineup is bull, and I know that she put these one-hit wonders with Billy. Margaret's got to go. And then now Brooke, who has her last words, has been silent this whole time, is basically just like, F you, Margaret, you're going to burn, I'm innocent. What do you guys think who do you think is going to get...
I think it's going to be Brooke, in a sense, because she's been silent this whole time, so I'm feeling like they're building her up. We want to know what's going on in Brooke's mind, basically.
Sorry, no, Elena, were you going to say who was going to be killed next?
Who's going to murder Margaret, right?
I was going to say who's going to kill Margaret, or who's going to... I almost wonder, because Margaret has been the one holding the knife the whole time, if she's going to be last man standing still.
No.
To be honest,
if she's gonna be
like,
our Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Predictions?
You know what? Let's say any final thoughts on this episode before we just dive into some predictions here, and then we'll do our news and special segment after.
You know what? I'm like, I think I'm good, but I'm like, you know what? Let's talk to our little chat real quick. I'm like, let's not forget about the people. People have been creating hashtags though. Hashtag drop deadbeats. Shout out to Nicholas Kelly. Shout out to Warren Walker. Shout out to Gracie and Ryan, our regulars, Lieutenant Blanco. Let me see. I've seen another one. Somebody said hashtag the bitch is back.
Yes,
These are funny. You guys keep the hashtags coming, and we'll definitely shout out everybody else. I'm like, it's so many comments. You guys are always in here. Gracie says hashtag return of the bulge. Is that for Trevor? Yeah. Is that a Trevor reference?
We'll
but
take
yeah,
it.
so much going on. But shout out to all you guys.
And also, before we go on to our next topic, we just wanted to say thank you to you guys so much for making us the ESPN of TV talk. For us to continue, though, we need your help. So you need to subscribe and like our videos, write some comments. We do all read the comments and sometimes even reply. But give us a 5-star rating on YouTube as well. And thank you so much for watching us. We love you guys.
Yes. So let's dive into some predictions.
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
All right, I feel like, Kayla, I'm going to go to you because
know what,
I feel like you're burning. You're burning like some potassium chloride through my veins. You want to get this prediction?
Okay, next episode is going to be for sure Killing Grounds. Like, it's the Battle of the Killing Grounds. Everybody's linking up to kill Margaret. It's going to be a whole concert.
like the Hunger Games.
Forget Billy Idol. They're not going for Billy. They're going for Margaret.
Like a Red Rover situation,
Yes.
but Redwood.
Send Margaret right over. No, yeah, I definitely. That's why I'm like, no, for sure. Everybody's Jingles, Ramirez. Everybody's like, no, forget this. I can't even live my life because of what Margaret has done to me. They're all going for revenge.
I think Brooke is ultimately going to wind up killing Margaret, but I think it's going to be with Mr. Jingles' help. You know what I mean? Like he's gonna keep her safe again, and he's gonna facilitate that death somehow. But I don't know. All I know is that Margaret's got to die, and I don't care who does it. I just want it to be good and bloody.
Yeah.
Hashtag Margaret's gotta die.
Margaret's got to die.
Margaret's got to die. Margaret has to die.
Also, I want them to explain the purgatory just a little bit more. They even say there aren't any rules. We don't know the rules yet. Well, can you give us the rules? We want to know the rules of purgatory. I want to know the rules of purgatory. I don't know if you guys
I feel like
do.
that might be. It might be explained next episode because it's only episode 7, so we still got 3-4 episodes left. So the teaser that they showed didn't look like a whole lot happened. It looked like very conversational, like lots of like no action, honestly. So maybe that we will get that. But yeah, I agree that I think it's gonna be Brooke that's gonna kill Margaret because it's like, Margaret, you can't take my final girl role. I'm the final girl. Brooke's the final girl. I don't care what you say.
Do you feel like the stakes are high enough right now? I just want that stakes to be higher. I don't know. It's
I feel like they all have a reason.
Oh,
So,
yeah,
like,
they
you know
got
what I mean. So
plenty
I'm
of
like,
reason, but
Well, I mean, anytime we incorporate the element of you die, but you don't actually leave,
yeah.
it does lower the stakes a little bit. Because it's like, oh, wow, that's so sad that Chet and Montana and Xavier are dead. But it's like, and Ray, but it's like, but they're just murdering other people, including like some rando named Dustin and his girlfriend for her newspaper. But I did think it was really funny that Dustin was there looking for ducks, and then it all circles back to now Jingles' name is Donald.
Yeah.
I was like,
Donald Ducks.
there will be one duck that will return.
Catch that.
Donald, aka Donald. Poor Dustin. He just wanted to use his nice little camera and his new lens for his birthday.
Yeah. Ooh. Sad. Well, I think we definitely will have this big showdown, this big face-off. We'll see who ends up.
Oh, what's gonna happen to Rita too? It looked like Rita was like tied behind somebody's car and was like being dragged.
Yeah, and
I
was about to get hit by a car too.
That too, yeah. Or like the car was coming toward her. Towards
I forgot
her
about
like
that.
Rita
Yeah.
needs to just stay out of the road. I'm like, Rita, no.
Rita
Stay
just
away.
needs to mind her business.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm like,
Rita being in everybody's business is getting her like the worst treatment.
Well, let's talk a little bit about some of the cool 80s references that we had in this one in our 80s special segment, Slashback.
Yeah, I have no idea what I was doing.
Dude, I love this music.
I do love this music. I'm into this.
Yeah.
Ooh, I just want this to like be
80s
This is like
synth.
super suspenseful.
just underneath our whole episode. I just do the robot.
I kind of feel like Richard Ramirez is gonna walk through the door.
It's very Night Stalker. It's very Night Stalker.
So, Kayla, what were some of our awesome slashbacks?
I'm like, in this one, I kind of felt like it was like a Friday the 13th type of vibe. I'm like, I couldn't really grasp any other ones. I feel like I'm falling off with this special segment. I'm like,
well, he did give us in the movie store, he actually says the specific titles, 2 of which we know were released in 1984. The Friday the 13th and
I didn't see
Nightmare
the
on Elm Street.
Was the Faces
of Death.
Yeah, I didn't see that one. I was like, ooh, has anybody in the chat seen that? How
Faces of Death, I think, is supposed to be the thing that's like the real death or whatever that was like popular back then. I don't know, but bleh.
Is that like Grim Reaper vibes? Do you think it's like Grim
not
Reaper?
really.
Okay,
but
I don't know. Somebody will tell us.
And then, of course, the less scary references to things like Tootsie. That's just like a delight to watch. But
and it was a giant commercial for Tab as well.
Oh, for sure.
The whole episode.
God,
Did you guys drink Tab ever?
No, I always wanted
too young
to.
for
No,
it.
I always wanted to. I'd see it in the
like,
grocery
no,
store, and I'm like, it's pink. I want to drink it.
do you want to know? This is a little off topic. We got to wrap real quick, but real quick story. As a joke in college, I tried to convince all of the freshmen when I was like a sophomore or junior that Tab was like the shit and everyone should drink Tab. And they all drank it and they all had it like on their desks and stuff. And we were like, Tab tastes like ass. We just did this as a joke. And everyone was so mad. And to this day, like they're like, remember you tricked us into drinking Tab? And I was like, yeah, I don't know what you guys.
Side note, does it still exist?
Yes, it does. It's in the store, and they also have Tab Energy, and it's pink, and it's delightful.
Elena,
But,
somebody's gonna be in the comments and be like, I remember that, Elena. I went to your high school.
So we do have a little bit of news real quick. I know we got to get out of here.
AfterBuzz TV
Yes.
News.
Yeah, there's a really cool Entertainment Tonight article. You guys could go check it out. Just Google Entertainment Tonight. It showcases Ryan reveals his favorite American Horror Story episodes of all time, and it's basically him giving an episode from each season, what he likes. So obviously the first pilot episode from Murder House is on there. The finale from Coven's on there. Asylum, Name Game, Hello. Jessica Lange as, you know,
The name.
Lana Bana Boom. Okay, anyways, so go check it out. He gives more in-depth as to why those are some of his favorite episodes, so definitely check it out. Happy 100 episodes of American Horror Story, everyone.
I'm like, yes, as we celebrate.
Candles.
Oh,
And where can everybody keep up with you guys until next week, our 101st episode?
Ooh.
You guys can find me on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram at Alexa Cappy. Cappy.
You guys can follow me on Instagram at @the_Kayla Rene'e, and then on Twitter at Catching K, and that's catching with a K.
And you can follow me, Ollie Dreamer, at Ollie Dreamer on Twitter and Instagram.
And you can find me on Twitter at Alana Jordan and on Instagram at Alana J. Jordan. And you can find me every week interviewing your favorite celebrities on Emmy Worldwide. We'll see you guys next week. We're going to eat some cake. Everybody blow out the candles on 3. 1, 2, 3. Happy 100. Woo!
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.